Hello, I'm Nicole Brockert from Cameron University. I'm excited to be a part of your literacy night. Today, we're going to learn about a vocabulary strategy called semantic mapping. This particular lesson that I'm going to be sharing today is geared towards elementary students. An introduction to semantic mapping. This is a great strategy to use for students to really use their background knowledge of a topic and find connections between ideas and words that are related to that topic or word. Implementing this strategy both before and after reading will allow students to gather more specific and knowledgeable answers to make connections. Here you can see an example of semantic mapping. The concept word goes in the middle and related words go all throughout the outside, and then they group them into categories. In this strategy, the teacher actually chooses the concept word that is central to the topic that they are covering in class for the day. The teacher will then write this word in the center of the board for all students to see. Students will also write this word in the middle of their paper. For today's topic, we're going to go ahead and use the word baseball. Students will then brainstorm as many words as they can that are associated with the key concept or word. Here, this can be done as a whole group. You can also choose to have partners. So I usually do shoulder partners, where they share ideas with each other about words that they know are associated with the key word. The teacher will then ask for volunteers to share those responses and will record them on the board, and students will transfer that into their journals. When they're doing this part of the strategy, they need to think of what do they know that is related to the word, and what does the word make them think of? Semantic maps are a visual strategy for teaching vocabulary. Semantic just means related to meaning and language. So a semantic map is essentially a map that connects to related words. For our example, we chose the word baseball as our concept word. If I would have asked the class, students could have came up with words that are related, including ball, infield, helmet, glove, players, strike, out, umpire, uniform, cleats, bat, foul, safe, first base, third base, home run, home, outfield. Some other words that they might associate with this word baseball could include concession stand and maybe items from the concession stand. There's no right or wrong answer to semantic mapping, which makes it that much more exciting and engaging for students to participate. Like I said, brainstorming can be done with partners, whole group, or even small group. This strategy builds on students' current schema or understanding and allows those natural pathways to fire up. You can also incorporate technology when incorporating this strategy by creating digital word clouds for students to contribute to. Fourth and fifth grade love seeing the word cloud coming together as they each type in their own word, because it just keeps getting bigger and bigger with all these words that are associated with the same word. Here, baseball, we have really big again for the semantic word. That one's the topic word. And then we have all these different related words scattered throughout the outside. In either whole group settings or individually, students will then make connections and generate category headings to sort the associated words into. With our example, baseball, we have gathered some different topics, including equipment as a category heading, baseball field as a category heading, uniform as a category heading, fans, referee, types of hits, and positions or jobs. We've then taken our words that we have that are related to our word baseball and sorted them amongst the categories. bat, and ball are both pieces of equipment that would go under the equipment heading. Bases, infield, outfield, and diamond are all part of the baseball field. Cleats, glove, helmet, these are all parts of the uniform. Players, coach, pitcher, shortstop, catcher, batter, all positions or jobs within baseball. Fans can have excitement. There's the popcorn and the hot dogs I was talking about earlier. And then the bleachers, those are all part of fans. Referee category would include umpire, you're out, you're safe. And then the types of hits, home run and foul. Here, we look for our students to be able to discuss and explain the connections they have made to group the words into respective categories. This can be used either before a lesson or concept is taught to see what prior knowledge students already have with a concept, or it can be used after reading to really expand and extend the vocabulary learning. The teacher can bring back the semantic map or the words listed in categories and ask students to add any new words that they have learned about the topic. One of the biggest advantages of semantic mapping is that it is a collaborative task that provides lots of opportunities for students to talk about words and how they're related using real-life context to explain the words they generate. It is also engaging and motivating, an important part of developing a word-conscious classroom in which students enjoy learning words. Sometimes a new concept word will be so foreign that students are unable to generate many words of their own that are related. For example, the background information for students growing up in a city may not be sufficient enough to brainstorm many words related to the word harvest. When this happens, teachers can provide scaffolds. One scaffold is to provide background knowledge about the topic to get brainstorming going. This can be done by either introducing a short story or maybe a video to just show what harvest might be like. In this case, it's important for the teacher to understand and to provide background knowledge that is necessary for students to make connections while completing a semantic map. For example, if the unfamiliar word was crew, then consider this process. The teacher could go back and find the word crew within the text and read that sentence for students to find context clues that will help them identify what the word's meaning is. Consider this process with the sentence. The first moon landing was made by the spaceship Apollo 11 in 1969 with a crew of 3 astronauts. If the unfamiliar word is crew as selected in our reading, we would take the same steps and put crew in the middle of our paper and circle it. Then the students may pull out words and phrases such as moon landing, spaceship, and astronaut from the text sentence that we just read to provide some initial context. Then the educator may select a student to read the actual definition of crew from the dictionary. The definition would state something like this: a group of people associated together in a common activity. Next, the educator might encourage students to suggest lots of ideas for related words, including words such as team, job, together, or friends. These related words can be split into the categories just like before and circled. One category for this activity might be feelings. These feelings might include friendship, togetherness, or teamwork. Students should then reread the text and explain their new understanding of the word crew. Another scaffold is to provide a list of words that include some words that are related to the keyword and some words that are not related to the keyword, and have students consider and determine if it should be added to the semantic map or not. The categorizing part of an activity can also be scaffolded by the teacher providing category topics. If you're working with young children who have not yet developed solid reading and writing skills, it could be beneficial to include photographs or pictures in the center of the map instead of using a word, or maybe with the word as well. And the brainstorming can be done either orally, with the teacher transcribing the words and projecting it onto the board, and students can still write this down to help reinforce that skill. Semantic maps can be very simple, using just words grouped together, or they can be more complex, using graphic organizers or other visual structures. Semantic maps can be created on paper, as I have shown you today, or digitally, as I have also shared today with word clouds. Semantic maps, as we discussed previously, can be created individually with students working independently on their own, in pairs where they work with a partner, in small groups where they work with 3 to 4 students to come up with and collaborate with ideas together, or that we could collaborate as an entire class and make it a whole class activity. Semantic maps are dynamic, and students can add to their maps as they learn more information and gather more words. Semantic maps are beneficial for students of all learning levels who have already mastered the central concepts of literacy. However, graphic organizers are particularly helpful for some students, including visual learners. They also make vocabulary curriculum accessible to students with learning disabilities and English language learners. In conclusion, students will use background knowledge of a topic and find connections between ideas and words related to a topic or word for semantic mapping. Students will be able to find connections and gather more specific, knowledgeable answers to make more educated responses after reading, and they're able to fully understand the concept of the vocabulary word or the concept term in which they are learning through semantic mapping and the collaboration tasks that they are able to complete while semantic mapping.